Grandma was the last prophet in human history, possesses the ability to foresee the future. But on the day she sensed her end was near, but he said something extremely strange to me. Xiao Jiang, after I die, you will inherit my ability to foresee the future. But you have to remember, this matter must never be told to anyone, especially your mother. Otherwise, the whole village will die. In my previous life, I didn't understand the deeper meaning behind Grandma's words. I thought it was just her saying something out of anger because she and my mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were at odds. But later, after my mom repeatedly assured me, I secretly told her about things I could foresee about the future. But unexpectedly, after my mom heard I had this ability, his true nature was revealed instantly. He locked me in the old house with a single move. She said she couldn't keep this secret alone. I planned to have the whole village protect me together. Since then, I never left this old house again. Villagers would occasionally come to the house with meat and candy, just to ask me one question. Tomorrow will be auspicious or inauspicious. My mom, on the other hand, used my abilities to amass wealth on a large scale. In less than a month, our family became the richest in the village. Even to prevent me, the cash cow, from escaping, my mom believed the gossip of a vicious woman. He actually broke my legs with a cruel twist, chained me inside the house like a dog. And the woman who came up with this idea, no one else. She was the wife my brother had married into the family. Until that moment, I finally understood. The reason Grandma repeatedly reminded me back then, I absolutely cannot tell my mom this secret. She had long expected that I would only be used as a tool for making money. But the source of all this tragedy, actually, it was the woman my brother brought back, because I saw it with the ability to foresee the future. One day in the future, my mother, even the entire villager, will all be because of this woman's arrival. A catastrophic disaster was about to occur. This life, I silently vowed, I will never let anyone know my secret. Grandma had just left. My mom just couldn't wait to ask me as she was in her previous life. Did Grandma say anything to you? Did she say who the next prophet would be? I shook my head. Grandma didn't say anything. Perhaps the next prophet. It will appear among the people who enter the village in the future. After all, my grandmother is an outsider daughter-in-law. The village prophet has always been a woman who married into the village. My mom looked disappointed. If only you were a prophet. This way you can earn more money for your family. From now on, I'll find a wife for my brother. Hearing this, I forced a smile. Mother, the prophets have always been foreign brides. I'm a man. How could one possibly become a prophet? My mom believed me. He then told the others in the village about the incident. The village chief was the first to refuse to believe it. She came home, carefully inquire about Grandma's every move before she died. I learned that Grandma had seen me once a few days ago. He began to question me, but I insisted that Grandma hadn't said anything. She just told me to go in and bring her water. But the village chief still looked completely unconvinced. It is said that prophets cannot leave their homes. Otherwise, the whole village would attack them together. Do you dare to leave the house? Of course I dare. I knew for a long time, this was just an excuse for them to trap me at home in their previous lives. This life, if I say it, it's just too up. I walked straight out of the house, generously greeting the neighbor's dog. It wags its tail at me just like always. Seeing this, the village chief shook his head. Looks like she probably hadn't designated Xiao Jiang as the next prophet. Not bad. A prophet can designate the next one. That is, passing the ability to the next person. But she will die within a week. So, no prophet would easily reveal this secret. It seems this way. What Xiao Jiang said should be true. My mom really didn't pass on her precognition to him. A few days later, my brother came back from outside to bring back the woman from the prophecy. Chu Mei. Just like in my previous life, I see Chu Mei's future. She is deeply guilty. Could kill my brother and my mom. Even the whole village. In my previous life, I told my mom about the future I saw. Everyone says I'm lying by using my identity as a prophet. You must be afraid that Chu Mei will become the next prophet. Because the prophet will only be born from wives who marry out of town. If this village is a man, for certain reasons, they possess the ability to foresee the future. So once her brother married a bride from out of town, this ability will be transferred to the bride. Therefore, you're afraid your brother will marry Chu Mei, worried that his precognition might transfer to her. That's why you keep bad-mouthing her. No matter how I explained it in my past life, no one listens to me. Chu Mei even showed many traits of a prophet at that time. For example, all the dogs in the village would scold her. The village roosters didn't dare to crow anymore. Even the village bully, the big goose, fled at the sight of her. The villagers said, "These animals all feared her power. She is destined to become the village's most powerful prophet in the future. But only I know. Those animals all despised her. He wished he could kill her. But he was helpless about her. When Chu Mei first entered the village, she said she was just a tourist. I just wanted to experience the countryside scenery and local customs. She was just like in her previous life. As soon as he entered the village, he inquired about the prophet. In her previous life, Chu Mei learned that I was the village prophet. Without hesitation, she proposed marrying my brother. And rumor has it that once she gets together with my brother, my precognition will transfer to her. After that, she used some tricks to change my prophecy. Let everyone believe that I have lost my ability to foresee. I clearly saw many endings. But she always finds a way to change. In the end, I was helpless, acknowledging that his ability to foresee is gradually fading. Everyone believed Chu Mei was the next prophet, and their abilities surpass mine. This life, she found out about my grandmother. It was when the previous prophet, Bao Jing, passed away. Zuiki proposed to become my brother's wife. Still the same as in the previous life. She didn't want a bride price. No need for endless matchmaking or formal marriage. They moved straight into my home. First she was pregnant, then held a banquet. This is true for my brother and mom. It was like a windfall from the sky. They were overjoyed. At that time I did everything I could to prevent her from coming in, because I knew she had ulterior motives. But even my family doesn't believe what I say, let alone the villagers. So she smoothly entered my home, and became a prophet. This life. Not only did I not say anything to stop her, he warmly welcomed her arrival, because I already foresaw it. As long as I don't oppose her, she won't hurt me. As for my mom and brother, all I can do is hope for their good luck. Chu Mei was still as ruthless as in her previous life. She pesters my brother every day, but there was still no movement inside the belly. It's been a long time. My brother was fine. My mom had a problem with that. My mom started making constant sarcastic remarks every day. They said Chu Mei was a hen that couldn't lay eggs. The next day began. Chu Mei killed a hen every day to make soup. Then show my mom the chicken belly full of eggs. Then tell my mom, it's not that hens don't lay eggs. It's my mom who is unlucky and impatient. Until all the hens in the house were eaten. My mom never dared to say again that hens couldn't lay eggs. Chu Mei said, whatever you eat, you should nourish it. Since you want her to have children, you should eat pregnant animals. That way she could get pregnant soon. I was terrified. In this life, she was even more ruthless than before. Past. She only suggested eating pregnant animals after she was pregnant. This life was deeply influenced by my mom. She actually ate all the hens in the village. They also eat other pregnant animals. When she eats fish, she must eat fish full of eggs. I especially love eating the eggs inside. I was really worried she was carrying a baby. It's a pity for this life. I have already seen her future. She will only have one child. And you will die at the hands of that child. She usually likes to eat field snails. But she only eats female snails. The male snails were distributed to the rest of the village. For her actions, everyone is used to it, because everyone believed she was the prophet. It's normal to make some unusual moves. So far, everyone in the village knew her rules. No matter what fortune or misfortune they asked, they all need to bring lively animals, especially pregnant women. So, the family began to have a steady stream of pregnant children. Chickens, ducks, and geese laying eggs. Sometimes my mom would feel sorry for me. I felt like the rabbit was about to give birth to babies. Where chickens, ducks, and geese are laying eggs, it's better to take care of it again. But she dared to feel sorry for anyone. Chu Mei would eat whichever one first. She had a firm grasp of my mom's thoughts. Gradually, my mom became just like in her previous life. He became Chu Mei's most caring and loyal follower. Someday, Chu Mei asked me, why haven't I seen your dad? Where did your dad go? I shook my head and said I didn't know. Subsequently, I asked her, isn't she a prophet? How could I not see where my dad went? I can only see what happens in the future. You can't see what happened in the past. I know she is not a true prophet. But a strange feeling welled up inside me. It seems that ever since Grandma left, I can clearly see what will happen in the future. And after meeting Chu Mei, I can even see some things that happened in the past. This was a situation that never happened in his previous life. But I absolutely cannot tell anyone about these things, especially my mother, because I had already seen my mom's past. She is actually not my biological mother. My brother isn't even my biological brother. When my brother was 5 years old, Grandma saw a terrifying future. He said my brother would one day cause the entire village to be destroyed because of a woman. But my dad said he was willing to bear the burden of my future brother's sins. So Grandma asked my dad to bring some wine. He went to burn the fox den 20 li away. Then he walked westward and never returned. But after my dad was at dawn, suddenly, I miss my mom and brother so much, ran back again. With no other choice, Grandma could only think of another way to resolve the situation. That is to go down the mountain. Bring back a lucky boy to take charge. Thereupon, my dad followed my grandmother's guidance. He went outside the mountain and brought me back. My mom once said, "Since my fortune and life are great, why raise him as a son?" She simply treated me like a daughter-in-law and raised me. In the future, it may even inherit the ability to foresee the future. But Grandma said, forcibly taking me away already brought great karma. If you marry into the family and abuse me again, at that time the whole village would face a catastrophic disaster. At the beginning, my mom didn't believe my grandma's booing at all. That very night they threw me into the mountains. I wanted to see if what grandmother said was true. But that night, a group of foxes sneaked into my house in a strange way. He dragged my dad deep into the mountains. Since then, I never heard from him again. The next day, after Grandma learned of this, he said if he didn't find me, once those foxes afterwards, knowing that we are the ones trying to resolve it, the village's disaster burned the fox's den, he would definitely go back to the village and kill everyone. So my mom listened to Grandma. He brought me back from the mountains. Since then, she raised me as her own son. No one dares to gossip in front of me, because this would affect the survival of the entire village. Grandma wanted to make it up to me. She made an exception and passed on her ability to foresee the future to me. I hope I won't hold a grudge against my family. Unexpectedly, Grandma just passed away. My mom changed her mind because I had the ability to predict. He actually imprisoned me forever in this house for the sake of money. Later, after Chu Mei became pregnant, she listened to Chu Mei's words again. He broke my legs and tied me up. So when the disaster of village annihilation struck later, I could only watch helplessly as the whole village went crazy from poisoning. In the end, I set a big fire. Cancel Chu Mei and her illegitimate child together. Thinking of the broken leg in his previous life and the pain of being reborn in flames, I couldn't help but shudder. Chu Mei pinched my chin. He asked casually, "Do you really not know where your dad went?" And just then, I saw Chu Mei's past and future. She is a fox spirit. This life is for revenge. More than 10 years ago, she caused my father's death. Yet it still wasn't enough to quell the anger in his heart. All because of her parents. We're all lost in the fire set by my father. At this moment, I wanted to protect myself. He also wanted Chu Mei to pay the price she deserved. So I told her, when I was very young, my dad died. If she wants to know how my dad died, she can get pregnant first. As long as she is pregnant, the village will surely hold a grand wedding banquet. On the wedding night of the bridal chamber, my brother will definitely tell her all the secrets. In the village, only women who had arranged wedding banquets. Only then are they qualified to know the village's secrets. Chu Mei pondered after hearing my words. A few more months later, Chu Mei said she was pregnant. Her belly slightly protruded. My mom and brother were overjoyed. He began to find someone to calculate the auspicious date. Soon they made up their minds. Exactly the same days as in his previous life. This life, I wasn't trapped in the house. Every day he walked dozens of miles along mountain paths to read. Walk another few dozen miles to return. On weekends they herd cattle at home. Someday, I suddenly discovered that the cow at home was pregnant. I whispered to it in his ear, "Take your child with you. Otherwise it will eat you." Cows are very spiritual animals. I believe it will understand what I mean. It knows who I'm talking about. Past. Chu Mei was here for the wedding banquet. He killed 2 pregnant heads by force. Cows and several pregnant sows and ewes. This caused all the spiritual animals in the village to go mad. At Chu Mei's son's 100-day banquet, pregnant animals are prematurely poisoned. Cattle and sheep trample the area. Cats and dogs went crazy. In the end, some villagers were poisoned. Some went crazy. But I was spared, because I don't even have the chance to go out. And after Chu Mei found out I wasn't from the village, he didn't kill me. She only killed my mom and my brother. But because of her earlier rumors, this caused me to lose the ability to walk. Because of this, I have always held a grudge against her. At that moment, the cow in front of her suddenly let out a long sigh. Kneeling on both knees, tears streaming down his eyes. I actually understood what it meant. It wants me to take care of its children. I saw her future. She herself doesn't have much time left. As long as Chu Mei devoured her, then her child would be reincarnated in Chu Mei's womb. So she was willing to sacrifice herself, fighting for a glimmer of hope for children. She begged me to tell Chu Mei. She is expecting. He hoped Chu Mei's wedding could be moved up early. This way they could arrive before one corpse and 2 lives were lost. Let Chu Mei eat her child. That. I returned home with a heavy heart. Because I have seen the future of the cow. There was simply no way to save it. The only way was to have Chu Mei eat the little cowboy. There is still a glimmer of hope. I secretly told Chu Mei. The cow at home became pregnant. But the bull is so big. My mom definitely wouldn't want to slaughter and eat it. The next day, sure enough, Chu Mei started arguing with my mom. He said he wanted to eat the cow at home. My mom said such a big cow. Killing it would be a shame to eat it. Chu Mei said, clutching her stomach. My son in my belly just wants to eat beef. Don't you want your grandson to be as strong as a calf in the future? My mom had no choice but to agree. Then I moved up my brother's wedding date. This way you can slaughter the cow. Because their wedding date was moved up. Villagers are also unsure whether the selected pigs, cattle, and sheep are pregnant. He randomly picked a few heads and started preparing for the wedding banquet. And Chu Mei couldn't eat much either. She repeatedly emphasized that the contents of the cow's belly at home should be saved for her. She handled it herself. He didn't force anything else. After the wedding, Chu Mei was just like in her previous life. Hostility toward me has greatly decreased. She should already know that I'm not the child in this family. She started speaking well of me in front of my brother and mom. Xiao Jiang is already this grown. Every day I walk such a long mountain path to read. How dangerous. Wouldn't it be better to just live on campus? He came back once every month or 2. And safe. It also helps my studies. I knew she was just annoyed that I was getting in the way at home. My brother immediately brought it up. You're already 16 years old. What other books do you read? Why not follow the village rules? Just find someone to give you a thumbs up. My mom looked a bit worried when she heard this. She probably thought of the scene when my dad was dragged away by a fox. She quickly said she couldn't force me to marry into the family. Seeing that the time was ripe, I knelt at their feet with a thud. He said I could live on campus. Wait for me to make money in the future. Bring the money back to take care of my little nephew. But my mom and brother couldn't bear to give me money to study. I told them, children in the village receive subsidies. No money required. This time my mom finally agreed. Before leaving home, I saw my mom's future. She'll be just like my brother. Completely enslaved by Chu Mei, because she was just as mentally strong as my brother. And Chu Mei could also be affected by the child in her belly. He could no longer harm others. After getting their permission, I left the village overnight. When they reached Hushan, about 20 li outside the village, couldn't hold back. I set fire to the cave again. The prophet's greatest enemy is the fox. So every time I pass by Hushan, we always ask believers to light fire in the foxhole. Even though there were no foxes in the mountains many years ago. But in the next second, I was actually in that sky full of flames. The fox's mournful beak was heard. He saw Chu Mei, gritting her teeth and looking utterly sorrowful. I panicked and kept running, until I ran to the edge of the road, looking at the houses lining both sides of the highway. Only after the sparse pedestrians did he breathe a sigh of relief. At that moment, a large stone by the roadside caught my attention. I don't know why every time I pass by, I always feel a sense of closeness. Feels very familiar with it. I looked up at the sky. It's still early today. Not a single one. It happened to be the night road after a night run. I was tired and hungry. He simply lay down on it. Soon I fell asleep. I also had a strange dream. In the dream, a careless couple passed by here. They placed their sons on the rocks to take photos. I forgot when I left. When they remembered to come back, he found that the child was no longer on the stone. No one knows where the child went. Child, wake up. A man gently shook me. I groggily opened my eyes. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't see the person before her clearly. A cold hand rested on my forehead. It's very comfortable. So cool. The child has a fever. He must have been greedy for the cold and slept on the stone for the night. Hurry up and send him to the hospital. A deep male voice sounded in my ear. In a daze I was picked up and taken to the hospital. By the time I woke up, it was already night. A man took my hand. Qinxie said excitedly, "Son, you are awake." For the first time I felt fear and anxiety. Because this man was full of unknowns. I don't see his future. This is the first time I've seen someone like that. I suddenly pulled my hand back and curled up on the bed. "Don't touch me. I don't like being touched by strangers," he said helplessly. "I am his lost son. His name was Yu Wenheng." At that moment, A sharp pain suddenly struck my head, as if it was about to split open. The name Yu Wonheng seems to be etched into my mind. And my name in the village. Xiao Jiang. And whose name is it? The doctor beside him took out a piece of paper and said, "The test report is out. I am the lost Yu Wonheng." It was the man's long-lost son. She looked up unintentionally. I see the future of doctors. She was highly skilled in medicine and possessed excellent character. He would later become a renowned doctor and take over the hospital. So at this moment he wasn't lying. So, the man in front of her named Yu Hao. He really is my own father. Because the prophet cannot see the future of their loved ones and the great demon. So he is either my biological father, or a terrifying great demon. After I was discharged from the hospital, Yu Hao then led me to the villa. He met with other family members. A woman named Fang Jing claimed to be my biological mother. There were also my younger brother Yu Zhe and a sister named Yu Shui. I couldn't see anything happening to Yu Hao and Fang Jing, but I saw the past and future of Yu Zhe and Yu Shui. Yu Zhe was indeed Fang Jing's biological son, and Yu Shui was the girl they found on that big rock. Turns out that every so often, Fang Jing would go check the location of that stone. Then the boy was taken in to spend the night on the rock. Perhaps they firmly believe that this will help them find their biological son. Even though Yu Hao and Fang Jing produced DNA test reports, they said I was their biological son. But I just can't get close to them. I even thought they were not as good to me as the foster mothers in the village. How could a birth mother be worse than a foster mother? Besides, my adoptive mother didn't treat me well either. But I have that kind of intuition. The first night I was brought back to the villa, Fang Jing said she had finally found her son. "Sleep with me tonight. There are so many things on your mind you want to share with me." Despite my strong opposition. But she still slept with me. "Just lay down at night." She asked me urgently. "After so many years in the village, do you have the ability to foresee the future? Become a prophet?" How could she possibly know about the prophet? I thought of what my grandmother said before she died. I have a strange feeling. Is it possible? As long as it's my mom. Whether or not they are biologically speaking. I can't let her know about me. Possesses the ability to foresee the future. I told her. Grandma is dead. The new prophet is my brother's wife. And pregnant. Fang Jing gritted her teeth and sat up in bed and cursed. "Damn old woman." I helped her sort out those messy things. "We agreed to pass the ability on to you. You actually want me. Watch me wipe out her whole village." Hearing this, I couldn't help but feel sorry for her. Although I can't see Fang Jing's past or future, but I can still roughly guess. She must have made some kind of deal with her grandmother. Leave me deliberately on that rock. He had someone bring him to the village. No wonder I can't feel close to them. They deliberately abandoned me. They clearly knew I was in the village. But she never came looking for me. Just so I could get that. The so-called ability to foresee the future. Subsequently, Fang Jing left my room straight away. He went to find Yu Hao. The room is well soundproofed. I couldn't hear what they were saying. I guess they were discussing how to deal with me. Maybe tomorrow it's time to send me away. The next day, Yu Hao said to me, "They want to take me to school in the city." It seems he still cares about that bit of blood and family ties. Although she couldn't bring herself to like me, but they were still willing to give me basic education. Fang Jing said, "Since the foster mothers in the village have raised you to adulthood, if you have free time on regular days, I still need to visit them more often. From now on, they will regularly provide me with tuition and living expenses." Hearing this, I nodded. He definitely had to go back. I still want to see Chu Mei's ending. At your age, you should be in the first year of high school. However, previous teaching levels were limited. It's better to attend the third year of middle school first, then enter high school. But I insisted on attending the first year of high school. And they feel confident they can pass the entrance exam. Because I only see the problem and the people around me. You can predict the answer. So I'm not afraid of any difficulties. And the result was just as I expected. During the entrance exam, I used the ability to foresee the future. I know the answers and high school admission scores in advance. I was easily admitted with just a barely passing score. Afterwards, Fang Jing was on my behalf. Enrollment procedures were completed, ID cards, and bank cards were processed. When the first monthly exam ends and the holiday begins, Fang Jing took Yu Shui and me to the village to visit my foster mother. She brought a whole pile of gifts. She said she wanted to thank me for raising and caring for me. And when Chu Mei saw Fang Jing, but he was a bit stunned. In her past and future, I didn't see Fang Jing appear. But after she saw Yu Shui, fear appeared in his eyes. Then I saw the past of Chu Mei and Yu Shui. They were actually mother and son. They were all fox spirits. Yu Shui was placed on that stone by Chu Mei to survive. She had to leave her child on that stone. Her purpose in coming to the village was to seek revenge. After obtaining the prophet's power, he regained Yuxue. At this moment, I felt my mind was completely in chaos. What is this? Fang Jing didn't say much after seeing Chu Mei, but when he looked at Chu Mei's belly, her gaze was strange and serious. I don't know if she noticed something, but in the end, she didn't tell Chu Mei. That night, we stayed there and finished dinner. At the dinner table, Fang Jing asked about Chu Mei's due date. He said he would visit the family after Chu Mei gave birth. Then she took me and Yuxue away. But at this moment, Chu Mei still wanted to say a few more words to Yuxue, but she seemed very afraid that Fang Jing wouldn't say anything in the end. After returning, I found that Yushue's future was changing. Previously, it was still Mingming who would become Yu Zei's wife in the future. But after this, her future became uncertain. Even Yu Zei's future became unclear. I don't know if my precognition is starting to fade. Still interfered with. But I always behaved perfectly normal. It's as if you saw nothing. When they returned to school, I found that the future of everyone at the school hadn't changed. Only then did I realize my precognition was still intact. Chu Mei's due date was getting closer. Meanwhile, on the day the due date approached, Fang Jing asked for leave for me and Yuxue. He took us to the village. Chu Mei's belly was huge, very big. It looked as if she was carrying several twins. Fang Jing said, Chu Mei probably won't be able to have children. Why not pass on her precognition ability? One of Yuxue and I was one of them. Moment. A sense of foreboding surged in my heart. Chu Mei's gaze turned to me. I saw two kinds of futures in her eyes. One future is that she passed on her precognition ability to me. Then the whole village will die. Another future. She passed her precognition ability to Yuxue. Then she will die. Yuxue will marry Yu Zei. But everyone in the village will die too. But after Yuxue was discovered to lack foresight, the villagers will be reborn and reselect the prophets. Now I finally understand how I was reborn. This is the moment of tranquility. Just as Chu Mei was about to point out who she would pass on her precognition ability, a violent baby movement erupted in her abdomen. A piercing scream escaped her lips involuntarily. The pain left her unable to say what was next. Fang Jing told my adoptive mother, she can deliver babies. Then he drove us all out and closed the door. She told Chu Mei to send out her precognition ability first, and then she would come to save her. But the fetus in her womb seemed to realize the crisis was struggling continuously. Finally, a wisp of golden light flew out from Chu Mei's abdomen. Falling to the ground, he transformed into a child with horns. In that instant, in my mind I pictured the past and future of this child. He is a demon. Bull demon. It is a child transferred from the belly of a cow to a demon fox. Soon, Fang Jing immediately realized something. He wanted to strike and eliminate him. But at that very moment, I don't know where I got the courage. She rushed into the room and hugged the child, holding him in her arms. Fang Jing saw the situation. He couldn't do anything out of line. Meanwhile, Chu Mei on the bed let out a painful scream. In the end, she transformed into a fox and lay on the ground. Outside the room, the adoptive mother heard the commotion and hurriedly pushed open the door and rushed in. But what she saw startled her. At this moment, I was holding someone in my arms, a child 2 or 3 years old with ox horns. Chu Mei was missing on the hospital bed, and on the ground was a dead fox. The foster mother was terrified upon seeing this, screaming as the fox demon came for revenge. Then he ran outside. At that moment my brother also came in from outside holding a hen. Meyer, I walked a long way. I bought you a hen to lay eggs. But when she saw the fox on the ground, her reaction was just like her adoptive mother's. Screaming as the fox demon came for revenge. He turned and ran wildly outside the house. This story quickly spread throughout the village. The villagers gathered in crowds. They gathered at my doorstep with hoes and sickles. Fang Jing picked up the dead fox from the ground. He calmly said to the villagers at the courtyard gate, "This fox demon had previously become a prophet. Tricked you all. Now I've already killed him." The villagers breathed a sigh of relief upon seeing this. But they did not appreciate Fang Jing. Instead, he cautiously asked Fang Jing about her identity. After learning that Fang Jing was my biological mother, they unanimously told Fang Jing to leave. She said the village did not welcome her. Fang Jing didn't say much more, glanced at me, so he left with Yuxue. She didn't ask me to leave with her, because I saw fear in the way she looked at me. She seemed to be afraid of the child Chu Mei would give birth to. I looked down at him. The child hid behind me, clutching my shirt tightly. It seemed he was also afraid of Fang Jing. After that, I stopped contacting their family. My adoptive mother and brother also went crazy because of what happened that night. He wandered around the village all day long, acting wildly. They said things like the fox demon came for revenge. Seeing them like this, I didn't pay any attention to them anymore. Looking at Chu Mei's child, I thought I should give her a name. After thinking for a long time, I decided to name him Nyo Nyo. It just so happens that you are the reincarnation of the bull demon. In the days that followed, I took Nyo Nyo out of the village, because I see the future of the village. After that, no prophets appeared here again. There will also be no demons or demons. It will only become an ordinary village. I walked to the roadside and found the huge rock was missing. Yu Hao and Fang Jing's family also moved out of here. But fortunately I know my name. His name was Yu Wenheng. With your own bank card and ID card. After arriving in the city, to establish myself and live here, I urgently needed some money to change the situation. He realized he had the ability to foresee the future. I walked straight into the lottery shop, buying a colorful float won 100 million yuan directly. With this windfall I bought a house and a car. He registered both me and Nuno in the household registration, and I sent Nuno to kindergarten. And I myself began my journey of learning. He returned to school to read. However, there has always been a question that has troubled me a lot. That man named Yu Hao. He must really be my biological father. After all, that paternity test report was real. But that Fang Jing was still a great demon. Whether it's my own mother or my own mother, I don't know, because I have never been able to see through her. But I know, they will never come looking for me again. I no longer have parents. But at this moment, none of that mattered. Life has to go on. Let the past pass. Now I have Nyo Nyo, that's enough.